The Gator of Marshmallow Run. Alli E Gator knew something was up the moment she opened her eyes. It felt like the kind of a day that would bring the most wonderful, too fun surprise. She quick brushed her teeth, grinning back at herself as she took a quick glance in the mirror. Sounds from the window were loud yells and cheers, which enticed Missy Alli E Gator. Children were shouting and laughing too loud, but who measures that kind of fun? They ran and they frolicked and giggled all day in the field, by the pond, in the sun. Alli was hidden by overgrown weeds, though she wanted to run out and play. The children were part of a nearby day camp and were out on a field trip that day. The laughing and squealing was way much too loud for Alli to sit and ignore. So Alli E Gator got down on all fours and quickly began to explore. She stood on some brambles and stretched out her eyes to see what the kids were all playing. She still couldn't see because the brambles were tall, so she stepped out instead of just staying. Something flew toward her and fell by her foot as a young boy yelled, "Anything goes!" Another one soared through the air, then came down, hitting Alli E square on the nose. It lodged in her nostril, and snorting a bit, she looked for the one on the ground. She sniffed it too close, and it stuck in her nose. Looking cross-eyed, she stumbled around. She sniffed, and she shivered, and teary eyes blinked, with 2 marshmallows stuck in her nose. Her mouth opened up, and she gulped lots of air for a sneeze that was ready to blow. Ah! 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 Chew! Alli's big sneeze sent her right through the bushes and through all the brambles galore. She caught all the children's attention at once when she stumbled out, rolling before 2 marshmallows shot out her nose. They bounced off the teacher, and then they screamed, "Alligator!" and scrambled to hide. This might be a game she could win. Alli was cautious and carefully watched for a sign that the kids weren't ferocious. One little boy, who was really too brave, got a hankering for something precocious. He picked up a big bag of marshmallows that they had dropped when they all ran to hide. He threw one at Alli and then threw another to coax her, like tossing a bribe. With measured enticement and sheepish delight, Alli threw caution right to the wind. She picked up marshmallows and, easing them into her mouth, found a new kind of friend. She'd never had sweets or much candy before, and this taste was a smushy delight. They felt nice and oozy and gooey inside as the marshmallows melted just right. The children came out, and they started to scatter their marshmallows over the lawn. Alli was thrilled. She scooped them all up till the last one was gathered and gone. The pile was quite big when the bags emptied out and the tossing began to slow down. They wondered a bit what the gator would do with the marshmallow pile on the ground. They circled the gator, and Alli was trapped, but she wasn't the least bit afraid. She'd had lots of fun running around with the kids in the marshmallow game they just played. The kids got real quiet. They reached to hold hands, wondering just what the gator would do. She opened her mouth, shoved it right in the big pile of marshmallows, sat back, and then chewed. Her mouth was contorted and eyes sort of crossed as sugar bits dripped from her teeth. The boys in the group, and the girls sort of too, thought that Alli E Gator was neat. She sat up real straight, sitting back on her tail, and looked kind of carefully around. Would they laugh at her chewing the white gooey mess? Would they all think that she was a clown? A little girl carefully walked up to Alli and patted her head just a little. Alli reached out to pat her head too. Then she grinned, and they started to giggle. She held the girl's hand, then her mouth opened up for a smile so that they could be friends. But gators don't smile, and she tried really hard, but her jaw was stuck, glued from within. She pulled, and she strained, and she forced her mouth wide, using all of her charm, grace, and style. Marshmallows oozed and they stuck and then dripped, and then finally, so sweetly, she smiled. The kids just went crazy and clambered around, climbing all over Alli E Gator. The counselors gave up on the scheduled events, thinking they could do all of them later. The sun was now setting and buses drew near to take the kids back to their camp. Alli was sad. Her friends had to leave, and she frowned as her eyes got all damp. "Don't be sad just 'cause we have to go," a little boy said with a hug. Marshmallow dripped all the way down his back like a big, slippery, slow-moving slug. The stories that flew round the bus on that day were told about all kinds of fun. One story remains, and its name never changed: the Gator of Marshmallow Run. A gator like Alli is one of a kind, or so we suppose by her play. The children all loved her, and stories were born about Alli E Gator that day.
GoodNight Grammy is a special website for you to enjoy with your children. With online and printable storybooks, video stories, coloring books, and Mooglygram cards, there's something for everyone to enjoy. So spend some time at GoodNightGrammy.com and read to a child today.
Thank you.